Hey everybody, how's it going? It's your boy ExtrmWill, and this is my tech channel. So we're going to do another Warthog video here and take a look at the price. It looks like right now it's at 47 cents, so the price is still holding pretty decently. We're not seeing like a lot of other stuff where the coin becomes popular and the price is tanking off. I think one of the good things about Warthog is the barrier of entry to get on is actually kind of really high, and it's a little bit more complicated than some of the other coins. So it'll kind of make this a little bit more like walled off. You're not gonna be able to have just a bunch of people like, oh, I'm just gonna throw all my stuff on there and start mining, because you can't just throw all your stuff on and just start mining. It won't necessarily do anything. You're not necessarily gonna be profitable. Um, it's kind of complicated, which makes this fun. It's good for me to make content on. So we're gonna look at another combo kit or another combination with a CPU and a GPU to see if we can be profitable. So I just built my 30th machine out. Most of them are running over on Salad, not doing anything. So that's why I'm interested in Warthog, to see what can I take from Salad and move it over to Warthog to see if I can get it to do anything. So we are running an Intel Xeon CPU E5 2698. It is, if you go all the way back up here to the very top of this, it'll say it's 20 core, 40 thread, and we are set to use 36 threads. Oh, and it just calculated and bumped it all the way back down. But it's a pretty big processor, but it's an older processor. So it's not the best for this. I had already kind of had it in my mind I was going to order it, and I'd ordered it before I decided I was going to do Warthog, and before I realized it's not necessarily the best at Warthog. Warthog really likes AMD. They don't really like Intel, but I had the Intel board that I'd put it in, so it is what it is. I paired it up with the RTX 3060. I was going to put a 3070 in here. I was trying to set everything up. I was having some troubleshooting issues, so I'm like, I know this 3060 works. So I threw the 3070 in a different rig and put the 3060 in this one, which I think works out fine. If we take a look here, these totals here. So for the top one, for the 3060, it's the VRAM. There's 12 gigs of VRAM, and I have 64 gigs of system memory. It's using it's using about 2 gigs of the VRAM from the 3060, and I think you only need an 8 gigabyte stick if you are running Warthog. I don't know if you start using a better processor, if it's going to take more. I don't know if like 16 is just a much better, safer idea. But from what I've seen, it's taking, like, with all the system memory and everything, it looks like an 8 gigabyte stick should be enough. Now, I don't know. I haven't done that much testing. If you know for sure, leave the comment down below. From what I've seen, you might be able to get away with 8 gigabytes, but you can test and see. It'll tell you how much is free. So it doesn't need the 64 in here. This is just something I was testing on to see if there was a difference, because I ran it with an 8 gigabyte stick and it looked like that was really, really close. And I figured, let's try running with more. So then I put a 32 gigabyte stick in. I was running just a 32, and then now I'm running with two 32 gigabyte sticks, so it's running with 64. So it didn't make any difference in the numbers whether I was running with the 8 gigabyte stick, the 32, or the 64, because it's not using any of it. So it doesn't really matter. It shows then, I think this is just where my overclocks are at. If we look at my overclocks here. So we're using the LOL Miner GUI, which I downloaded LOL Miner just so I could pull this out. This is kind of nifty. So core clock we have at 1500. The core offset is 150. Why am I blanking on what these are? Memory core clock is at 810. I'm not using this one. And then the power limit I have at 150. For my overclocks, I went to hashrate.no, GPUs, RTX 3060, and we clicked on Pyron, and then I'm just using the overclocks from Pyron. That's how we're figuring those out. So let's come back in here. So I think that's just saying my overclocks right there. Fan right now is at 53. The power for the GPU alone is 56.3. And the temperature on that is 33 degrees, so that is perfectly fine. And then we're not getting a lot of the information here for the CPU. I wish this would tell you the power for the CPU in here. It's probably my biggest beef with this. It doesn't tell you what the CPU is using, because right now the CPU is using about 4 times more than the GPU is. It's a little less than 4, maybe 3.8 times what the GPU is using. So I wish it was telling me that, and I wish it was telling me the temperature on the CPU. I don't know why it's not. It would be much nicer if it did. If we come down here into these next numbers, let's see. So this is your how many shares it's accepted. Oh man, I've been up for way too many hours. I built the machine and just had all kinds of fun with troubleshooting through different things with that. And but this is like how many shares you're doing and running. I don't know exactly what the config is. Your terabytes has got to do with something. That's how much data you're transferring. Your efficiency is kind of important to know. You want to know that when trying to look to see like if your overclocks are going good or bad, how you're kind of figuring out. I don't know how accurate this efficiency really is though, because if this is only reading the power on the GPU and it's not reading the power on the CPU, I don't think you're getting a real effective efficiency number here. Your pool rating is really important. This is how much they're actually paying you for your hash rate, and then your Janus hash rate. This is what you're doing, and this is what they're paying you for, so that's the difference. So that's kind of important. Here's some more statistics. Get your difficulty, your latency, established terabytes, your quality is how proficiently right now it's running. So your verse hash rate is going to be okay, maybe you did it right. The Java hash rate is what your GPU is doing, and the verse hash rate is what your CPU is doing, but they need to be really close to each other. So right now, the CPU is massively bottlenecking the GPU to bring it all the way down to its level. This is so from the machines I've tested so far, this is the best verse hash rate I've gotten from a CPU, but this is like a $75 CPU, so it's not really anything all that special. It's it's pretty cheap still. That's why I bought it, because it was cheap. But I wasn't looking specifically at making stuff for Warthog, but I know if you go watch Rabid mining stuff, like this GPU can probably do way more if you pair it with the better ones. Like if you have a bunch of new, like if you were doing CPU mining before, specifically if that was what you were doing, then switching over to this will be really good, because your GPU barely matters at all. You could probably be doing amazing if you had really good CPUs, if you had a bunch of of the really good top of the line newer Ryzens, and then you could probably throw a 1660 Super on here, or the 10-year-old Ryzen GPUs in here, and you'll still be getting the max hash rate, or pretty close to the max hash rate, because you're so heavily limited by the GPU. I have a bunch of really good GPUs from the crypto mining, and I sold off all the older GPUs, so I don't have any old cheap GPUs. All I have are 30 and 40 series, and then I haven't really been doing anything that's really GPU heavy in the AI rental stuff I'm doing. I do Salad rental. Your GPU doesn't matter at all. It uses one core, and sometimes the customers will pay for more, but it doesn't matter. I'm running a 10-year-old i7 with 4 cores, and it works just fine. So for Salad, your GPUs don't really matter. So if I do build another machine out, I'm going to have to look hardcore into the CPUs, but that should break most of that down. The CPU buffering, I'm imagining that's telling you how much right now you're uh, trying to convey to you that your CPU is massively bottlenecking your GPU would be my thought. I'm not 100% sure, but that's definitely my thought on that. And then that all repeats again. I'll come over here. We already covered the overclocks. What do I have here? Here we've got... I decided to bring this up just because I was trying to look at different things to see. It's not using all the cores, but I do believe it is using these 26 are maxed out at 100%. So, and then as these 4 cores, it's leaving a little bit of room so I can actually move the mouse and click on the different windows. So if we go to the next one, what does all of this mean? Currently it says it's hashing at 344. I don't think... Okay, now it's about went down to 373. I thought being pretty charitable for me was actually going to say about 360. Because that was kind of what it seemed. So that would put it at 1.47 Warthog for the day, if I left it on here all day, which would be 72 cents in USD. That is straight profit. Yeah, because this isn't calculating out my... this isn't calculating out my electric. So that would be just straight 72. And it has the calculator down here to say what it says you're running. See here it says I'm probably averaging about 373. So I said 360. So not too bad. 74 cents right now is what it has, but it'll go up and down. You got all your cool data. I like Hero Miners because Hero Miners has this estimator in here, which is cool. So let's see here. So we are making 72 cents. Let's bring up the calculator. 0.72 cents minus my electricity, which unfortunately at the wall this is only $2.40 because that 20-core CPU is a jerk, and because it's running at 100% right now, it's actually taking about 190 watts, I want to say. So that is... It's taking up a lot and not really doing a whole lot because it's kind of old. Calculate that, I believe this was at 86 cents. So bring the calculator back up. No, that's not a calculator. Bring the calculator back up. Minus 0.86. Says I'm actually losing 14 cents a day with this particular combination. I think this is kind of close. I might be able to tinker with this to get this a little bit better if I can start to understand this a little bit more. At losing 14 cents, I gotta say, honestly, not really gonna be worth it. I'm just gonna put this over onto Salad and let it probably just calculate and run a job almost never, just so I'm not burning any electricity with it. And if it does run a job on Salad, then it'll do really good. I probably won't keep the 3060 in here with the 20 core. What I'd like to do theoretically is probably put the 34090s on the 320 cores, which I might do because I don't think the 4090s are running right now. I'm not gonna do it tonight though. Like I'm exhausted. I've spent probably the last 5 or 6 hours working on all of this and was not expecting to have this much work and problems. I bought some used hard drives, some used 1 terabyte M.2s because I got them real cheap, real cheap. It came with a copy of Windows 11 on it, and so I played around with the Windows 11 for a little bit. I hate Windows 11. I am not going to use Windows 11 until I'm absolutely forced to, but I had to get... It was like the copy was set up for you to be at the beginning of the install, and I wasn't sure what was going on. I thought maybe it messed up my USB drive somehow or other, and my USB drive got corrupted. That somehow or other it wasn't going to let me do Windows 10. It was, for some reason, it was going to force me to do Windows 11, so I had to get all the way through the install before I could go to reboot back into it and to tell the BIOS, or to get into the BIOS, to tell it to boot from the USB. It wasn't wanting to like post normally because it just wanted to go right into Windows setup. It was being weird. I hate Windows 11. I don't want to use Windows 11 for anything. But so I spent way too long on that and got exhausted messing around with that, and then finally, after 2 hours of that, deleted it. Then got all this set up and got this up and running and tested, and so I don't think it's running too bad. It's not too bad. It's just not quite good enough. You know, if you have like one of the newer chips, I don't know the names of the newer chips right offhand either. You have like one of the newer real high end Ryzen's that you can't get your hands on, $400 or $500 chip. You know, you throw just about any GPU in there, and you're going to be doing about 1,000 mega hash. So, I think if you have two of the Epic server chips working together with a 4090, you can get something like 3,000 to 4,000 mega hash on it. I didn't do it, so I don't know. I don't have any Epics. I gotta look into pricing on them. I'm sure they're way too expensive for me to really go buy for my hobbing around with this, but that's gonna be this particular combo. The RTX 3060 with the Intel Xeon 20-core chip. It's just not quite profitable enough, so let's see, I'll probably use Task Manager, but I can close that down. So I am going to install Salad on this and then throw it out in the server closet. And we will look. There's a couple more combos I still want to do, so I'm going to have a couple more Warthog videos coming to check the machines I still have. I have two more Ryzen chips that I want to check. I have Threadripper 1950X and another Ryzen 7 or Ryzen 9 12-core chip, 24 threads. I want to check that one. I want to check both of those two. Threadripper's 16 cores, 32 threads. So I think those two might be really good. I was hoping this one was going to be a little bit better. It's close, but just not quite close enough. But I'll have two more of these coming probably here pretty soon. So that's going to be it for this video. If you liked the video and want to see me trying more stuff, hit the like button, subscribe. Normally I do Salad, but I'm going to try to throw some Warthog stuff in here too, because Salad's not necessarily making a ton. I want to see if there's something that I can find where I can be making a ton. You know, they might get everything fixed on Salad, and then I may just be like, oh, everything's fixed now. I can stop looking. But if you're unhappy, that's when you look. So it's their fault for making me unhappy, for me pulling my equipment off and playing around with it and trying to do other stuff. So yeah, that's going to be the video. So if you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe, comment back, leave comments down below. I'm pretty good about getting back to comments. If it's a statement, I guess I don't necessarily get back to statements as much. I'll hit the like button on the statement, but if I've got questions, I tend to do as good as I can to answer. I definitely don't know a whole lot about Warthog. I don't know if, I guess there probably are some people who probably do know a whole lot about Warthog, but I like it. I think it looks like it's pretty good, but I don't know if I have anything that I can run profitably on it yet. I still have two more to try. I thought this had a really, really good chance of getting there and being there. And overall, just not quite there. So, I'll see you the next time. Peace.